Now that we're getting the Diablo 4 open beta, I wanted to talk about 7 mistakes that you want to avoid making when you're playing this game. Before we get into it, just a quick tip for level 25, the fastest places I found to farm legendaries and gold are Dead Man's Dredge and Annika's Claim. You can clear these dungeons extremely quickly, there's a ton of elites in here, so you'll pretty much just get legendary after legendary after legendary, and a ton of rares that you can sell. And before I get into the video, I want to take a moment to thank today's sponsor, Bloodline Heroes of Lythis. Bloodline is a mobile fantasy RPG that lets you build your kingdom and collect champions, but it actually lets you make your own champions. You can choose different heroes to marry together to combine their bloodlines and create unique offspring with a combination of their abilities. And you can download the game for free right now by either scanning the QR code on screen or clicking the link in the description. New bloodlines and legendary hybrids are constantly being added to the game, which means the combinations of abilities you can breed are endless. And there's already over 1,000 different combinations you can create. And at endgame, there's even a PvP system with the seasonal guild wars that come with uniquely designed hybrid champions. All you need to do is scan the QR code or use the link in the description to download the game for free on Android and iOS stores. And as an added bonus, if you use that link, you'll get a special starter pack worth $20 that comes with 1 summoning crystal, 100,000 gold, and 100 diamonds. And the first 30 players who leave their in-game account ID and username in the pinned comment section below will receive a free legendary female orc champion. Download Bloodline and get started today. Okay, so tip number 1 is that you shouldn't upgrade your gear early. Spending the gold to upgrade your gear as you're leveling will just see it be replaced extremely quickly. The leveling process from 1 to 25 only takes a couple hours, and around every 30 minutes, you're completely replacing every single piece of your gear. So don't spend your gold upgrading your gear just yet. Wait until you have really solid rolls at level 25. On that note, make sure you upgrade and re-roll your items before you make them legendary. If you find a rare with really good stats and you have a legendary affix you would love to use, then make sure you upgrade the item and re-roll its stats early, because after you turn it into a legendary, it will become a lot more expensive. But for some reason, the price of adding a jewel socket is the same, so don't worry about that. Early on, swap between selling and salvaging your gear. I would actually suggest salvaging a lot more early on, because you're gonna make a lot less gold from selling it as it's lower levels. And having the salvaging materials is extremely useful later on, but also you're going to need to farm some gold if you're going to upgrade all of your gear and make them all legendaries later on. Don't forget your class specialization quests. These quests are easy to miss, and some of them start as early as level 7. Each of them unlock a unique specialization for your class, like rogues getting access to combo points and sorcerers being able to use some of their abilities as passives. These are unlocked by quests which appear in the priority quest part of your journal, but they have a unique look on your map. Do know that barbarians can't go to their specialization though. The class specialization is outside of the scope of the beta. As you're leveling, you're going to want to farm and take note of the legendaries you're getting. If you find a legendary with an amazing aspect at an early level, don't worry about that, because you can actually extract that aspect by going to the occultist in Kyovashad, and I would wager no matter what, you will be able to find better gear that you can enchant this aspect onto and turn it into a legendary later on once you're level 25. The best farms are the ones I told you about at the beginning of the video, but also the world boss. If you see people doing world events, don't just run by, but help them and complete them. This is key because you can get a ton of items from the chest, including of course legendaries themselves, but a lot of times when you're running by in the open world and someone is completing one of these world quests, they're actually almost done with it, and all you need to do is help them kill maybe the last boss or the last wave of ads, and you'll get all of the progress, acting as if you were there the entire time. So don't sleep on just kind of sniping these as you're running to whatever dungeon you're farming. Regional progress is an amazing way to get extra skill points, but you do have to claim these yourselves. This will give you a ton of amazing rewards, ranging from a ton of gold, also some skill points and potions, things like that. And my last tip today is to experiment with your build. This is the early beta, and a ton of theory crafters are working with legendary aspects and the builds to make all of the classes extremely OP. But nothing's perfected yet, and as you're leveling and experiencing the class, you can find a different way to play it than anyone's done so far. Not to mention, they always synergize with particular legendary aspects. And if you find a legendary aspect that you find fun, you can always just respend your talent points on different abilities to play the class in a completely different way. It's really free in the beta, and Diablo devs have said that once we're at higher levels, we're not going to want to be respecking too much because it's going to cost too much. So you might as well test everything out right now. And that's it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching and have a ton of fun in the Diablo beta. Thank you again to Bloodline for sponsoring this video, and I'll see you all on the next one.